From the #1 local sports team, where local sports matter, it's Overtime, Friday Night Overtime. Here's your host, Scott Rossman.
Happy Football Friday. Scott Rossman is out tonight. I'm Joel Sebastianelli. He's Blake Brennan. Glad you could join us for Week 7 of the high school football season.
Over the next 15 minutes or so, highlights and scores from across the Panhandle. We've got big rivalries: Blountstown, Port St. Joe, Arnold, Rutherford, Graceville, Vernon.
Yeah, some undefeated records at stake. You mentioned Blountstown. Freeport hosting Baker, 11-0 combined. Sneads takes a 5-0 mark to Bozeman. We'll take you to Tallahassee, to North Bay Haven, visiting McLeod.
But we'll start with one of the biggest rivalries in the region, really. Blountstown and Port St. Joe didn't meet in the regular season last year because of Hurricane Michael, but they regularly meet in the postseason. Tonight, a rematch of last year's second-round playoff game, won by the Sharks, and the second reunion between Coach Greg Jordan and the school he coached for 12 seasons. Tigers in the white, 5-0. Sharks in the gold, 3-3, coming off of an upset of previously unbeaten Graceville. Opening kickoff, St. Joe said, "We want the ball first." Very Saints-esque. The onside is recovered by Max Cargill. Let's get weird in this game. Sharks unable to capitalize on the onside kick, so Blountstown with the ball now. Quarterback Logan Pumphrey rolls to his left, fires an absolute dime to St. Joe's Nick Jefferson in the corner of the end zone. Sharks back in business. Quarterback Colin Amison with a dime of his own over the middle to Kelvin Griffin. Going to speed down the middle of the field, looking for the sideline. He's finally chased down right around the 25-yard line. Few plays later, Sharks inside the 1. Amison calls his own number. Extra point is good. Sharks draw first blood, leads 7-0. Second quarter, same end zone, different team, same result. Garrett Martin barreling his way to the end zone. Tigers trail 6-7, though. Sharks backed up. Snap sails over the punter's head. He tries to fire it off, but just gets crushed before Alex Valdez scoops, and Alex Valdez scores. And just like that, Tigers back in the lead. 2-point conversion is good, 14-7. St. Joe driving. Amison fires one over the middle. It's picked off, though, by Caden Hatchett. He is finally brought down around the 25 after a nice little return there. Tigers back in business. A few plays later, Trevin Smith works his way down the right sideline, finds that extra gear, and he is just gone. Sharks up 22-7 in the closing minute of the second quarter. Another St. Joe fumble gives the Tigers the ball back with under a minute. Smith now at quarterback, just kind of hanging around the backfield, finds Valdez wide open at the 5. Tigers would lead 28-7 at the half, and Blountstown remains undefeated, taking down the Sharks 35-7. The Sharks fall to 3-4.
Trevin Smith can do absolutely everything. Did just about everything last week except pass for a touchdown.
And now he's got that.
Yeah, and there you go right there. So, two undefeateds tangle tonight at Freeport. The Bulldogs host perennial powerhouse Baker. Matt Brunson's Gators off to a 5-0 start for the 4th year in a row. Coach Sean Arntz and company at Freeport pulling off a program first time in school history. They've started 6-0 and starting strong tonight. Keen Neal hooks up with Tavius Holmes. Jack Adams finally catches up to him at the 6-yard line. A pickup of 59. Neal does the rest, sneaking across the goal line to put the Bulldogs up 6-0. But Baker drives right back, handoff to Garen Mitchum, bulldozing through bodies, keeps on trucking on 15 yards to the end zone to equalize. Freeport driving again. Neal gets up to midfield, looking downfield, and no luck this time. Intercepted by Sam Croson. And right here is fine for the offense, thanks. Jack Adams shakes off not one, but 2 tacklers, 1 play on the drive. 72 yards, a touchdown and a 14-6 Gator lead. And they keep on adding to it. Joe Brunson with the ball. Big block up ahead from Carter Mason, and another big gainer for Baker, 53 yards this time. It's 21-6 after the first quarter. Early in the second, same deal. Brunson again, following Mason. You can see why, and you can see where this is going. This runs 77 yards for a 28-6 advantage this game. Quickly moving towards a Gator route. Freeport down 34-6. Neal dishes to Trey Hinckley for a 9-yard TD, but it's almost all Baker. 55-12 the final. So Gators now 6-0. Freeport 6-1.
So another 1A undefeated, Sneads, the Pirates building off of one of their best seasons ever. Just the third time since the 1950s they've made it to the second round of the playoffs. Traveling south to Bozeman at 5-0, hoping to add to their 5-0 record. Best start to the season since Bill Thomas took over the program back in 2013. Bucks at 3-3, hoping to bounce back from losses to Graceville and Vernon. Quarterback Jordan Rosales rolls out on the opening drive, picked off in the end zone by Dylan Dawson, taken out to the 1-yard line, but they'll take it. Dawson moves the Pirates down the field himself. Big hole from the 1 all the way to the 30, although this drive eventually turns over on downs. Still going.
It'll help pad the stat sheet nonetheless. Still scoreless in the second quarter. Rosales heaves high and deep to Austin Sato, sits underneath the fly ball, bucks inside the 5, and then Rosales keeps it himself. Hop, skip, and a jump over the goal line and past the defender, 6-0 Bozeman.
Later in that quarter, same score, but hoping to add just a little bit more, a little homecoming miracle. Rosales looks sidelined for Devin Embrick, hauled in at the 19, getting a little bit closer. Bralin Burris bangs it home, a 2-score lead, 12-0 Bucks so far.
It's the kind of name you want for a guy who's going to bang it home. Before the half, Sneads threatening to erase the 0. Calvin Stringer swings around to the outside, and then Colton Mercer capitalizes. Zeroes in on Dylan Dawson. Touchdown Pirates. 12-7 at the break. And then the offenses ignite.
6 lead changes in the second half of this game.
Crazy.
Sneads comes back to win 42-32, still undefeated. Bucks fall to 3-4.
Awesome game, and more awesome games still to come. That takes us into our first break, but a Bay County rivalry. Arnold at Rutherford at Tommy Oliver, Vernon Graceville, North Bay Haven Maclay. That's all next. Don't go away.
You're watching Friday Night Overtime on News Channel 7.
Welcome back to Friday Night Overtime, Week 7, one of the most stacked weeks of games all year. Picking back up with a Bay County battle. Arnold at Rutherford, two win teams. You need to start stringing some wins together. Rams coach Lauren Tillman admitting earlier this week nobody in 4A is running away with anything. Same for the Marlins in 5A1. But it is a rivalry, a lot at stake just tonight, so little room for Marcus Hammock to roam early. Got to force the issue, going for it on the opening drive. 4th down, they like to keep it in Hammock's hands. Might have made it to the marker if not for Dalton Rutherford. Shoestring tackle turnover on downs to stifle Rutherford. Marlins like to give it to Alex Noble, 330 yards, 4 TDs last week against Bay. He's got moves. That run moves the chains, and dude can catch too. Liam Bird over the middle, right in the basket, 20-plus yards. How else would you cap off a drive than to Noble again, pitch from the 6 for 7. After the PAT. Rams, though, strike right back. Marcus Hammock keeps hacking away. Less than a minute and a half later, fakes a handoff to Antoine Givens. He's gone. 5 guys near him showing the speed and strength. Flex on him. Can't get the point after, though. So 7-6 Marlins after the first quarter. First minute of the second, replenishing the lead. Rock Holland slips through the seam, 14-6 Arnold. Fitting of a good rivalry, back and forth, ensuing Rams drive. Brian Edwards across the 50. A few more like that in position for Hammock to do his thing. Second verse, a little shorter than the first. Give him 6 again. Count the 2-point try to tie. So 14-14 midway through quarter 2. Alex Noble, we know he's good for at least 2 scores every week. Here's his second, 21-14. They go back up at the 2-minute mark. And from here, Arnold puts the pedal down. Hammock goes to Givens at the start of the following drive. Antonio Hill starts the tackle. Jordan White wrestles the ball free. Tony Spence scoop and score. Kicker Zach Bischoff adds a field goal at the buzzer. That's 16 unanswered points in the final 2:06 before halftime. Rams hang around the whole way, but it's the Marlins who get back to 500 with a 42-28 dub. Rams drop to 2-5.
God, rivalry games are fun, aren't they? But North Bay Haven in a similar situation to Rutherford, entering tonight at 2-3, playing out of class a little bit at 2A Maclay. But with a tough local stretch coming up, a win tonight would go a long, long way. Bucks ball in the third quarter. Handoff goes to Cameron Gant. He'll dip in for the quick score, although the Bucks trail 41-27. Ensuing drive from Maclay, Michael Grant heads left, tosses to Robert Parker Crawford, the law firm. He's got room on the edge, breaks one tackle, tries to break another, tries tries to break the camera, ultimately shoved out of bounds. That run, though,
that would be assault and expensive.
That run set up this pass. Grant stands in the pocket, hurls a dime to the corner of the end zone to Parker Crawford. A high-scoring affair in this one, but the Bucks will fall 51-33, now in 2-4 with Liberty on deck next week.
Yeah, the running back class is stacked in 1A. Some elite talent making moves, lighting up the scoreboard every week. Graceville at Vernon, maybe the best collection all in one place. You've got 2 4-1 teams, a handful of star backs. Tigers coming off their first loss at St. Joe, relying on D1 recruit Xavier Sori. Jeremiah Castro and Aeneas Myrick. Vernon relying on Kwan Powell. It's another back with D1 offers. All signs pointing to an offensive battle all night.
Nearly 10-minute drive by Graceville culminates in Jeremiah Castro muscling through. It looks like every member of Vernon's defense. There, he squeaks out right there. Graceville makes the extra point. It's 7-0, but Vernon gonna thunder down the field in their opening offensive drive, culminating in this play with a score by Kwan Powell. But that little pesky flag that pops out right there, it is called back due to holding. Vernon will turn it over on downs, and that's the end of the first quarter.
Vernon with a defensive score brings it within 1, but check this out. Graceville's next drive, there's Sori, 65 yards, another Tigers score. The 2-point conversion is good, so Graceville goes up 15-6, although the Yellow Jackets get to within 10 on their next drive, go for it on 4th and 2, and fail to get it, so Graceville takes over. They, too, fail to put anything together. Their drive results in a punt.
And look what Kwan Powell can do again. Direct snap, the wild Powell, the wild Kwan, whatever you want to call it. 60 yards after a direct snap. 2-point conversion is good, and he is just gone. We've said that all year. That brings Graceville to the half. Vernon hits the gas and does not stop. Graceville doesn't see the end zone again all game. Jackets cruise 41-15. Jackets are now 5-1.
All right, that takes us into our final break. Still to come, the rest of the scores from around our area and your winning lottery numbers.